Have you ever pondered whether a single philosophy could fundamentally alter the way you live, think, and perceive the world around you? What if I told you that such a philosophy exists, not merely as an abstract idea, but as a concrete way of life, deeply rooted in the legacy of Japan's greatest swordsman, a figure whose mastery extended far beyond the battlefield to the very essence of living itself? Miyamoto Musashi, a name that resonates through the corridors of Japanese history, is celebrated not only for his unmatched skill with the sword, but also for his profound insights into the nature of life. Musashi was more than just a warrior. He was a philosopher, artist, and thinker whose life culminated in a concise yet powerful document, the Dokudo, or The Path of Aloneness. Written in the solitude of a mountain cave just weeks before his death in 1645, the Dokudo distills Musashi's wisdom into 21 precepts. These principles transcend the art of combat, offering guidance on how to live with independence, dignity, and unwavering integrity. But why should we, separated by centuries and cultures, heed the words of this ancient samurai? In our modern world, where distractions are endless and the pressures of daily life are relentless, Musashi's teachings offer a refreshing perspective, a timeless blueprint for navigating life's complexities with grace and strength. The Dokudo challenges us to examine our own lives more closely, encouraging a journey inward to discover what it truly means to live authentically, independently, and with purpose. As we embark on this journey through Musashi's 21 precepts, we'll explore them not as relics of the past, but as living wisdom for today's world. You'll learn how embracing reality, mastering desires, cultivating inner strength, fostering harmony, and upholding honor can transform the way you approach life's myriad challenges and opportunities. Each principle serves as a stepping stone on the path to a more deliberate and fulfilling existence, inviting us to reflect, adapt, and grow in ways we may never have considered. But how do these ancient teachings apply to our daily lives? Can the wisdom of a 17th century samurai truly guide us in the 21st century? The answer lies not in the literal interpretation of Musashi's words, but in the spirit of his philosophy. It challenges us to delve deeper into our values, motivations, and the legacy we wish to leave behind. It prompts us to consider what it means to walk our own path with courage, discipline, and a deep sense of purpose. As we delve into each principle, I invite you to reflect on your own life, the decisions you make, and the values you hold dear. This journey isn't about adopting a new set of rules, but about engaging in a dialogue with the past to illuminate the present and shape the future. By the end of this exploration, you'll not only have a deeper understanding of Musashi's Dokudo, but also a renewed perspective on how to navigate the complexities of modern life with wisdom, courage, and integrity. Let's uncover the timeless wisdom of the Dokudo together and explore how its principles can inspire a more intentional, fulfilling, and independent way of living. Chapter 1. Embracing Reality. Principle 1. Accept everything exactly as it is. Imagine you're faced with a situation that seems insurmountable, whether it's a personal setback, a difficult relationship, or an unexpected challenge. In such moments, we often resist reality, wishing things were different. We might find ourselves caught in a cycle of frustration and denial, trying to change circumstances that are beyond our control. Musashi's first principle, accept everything exactly as it is, urges us to embrace reality as it is, without resistance. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation or passivity. Instead, it's about seeing the world clearly, without the distortions of our desires or fears. Acceptance is the foundation of wisdom. When we acknowledge the world as it is, we free ourselves from the burden of unrealistic expectations. we begin to see that much of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our refusal to accept them. Musashi teaches us to approach life's challenges with a calm mind, finding peace in the knowledge that we are doing our best within the circumstances we face. This principle encourages us to let go of the need to control everything, allowing us to respond to life's challenges with grace and resilience. This principle also invites us to confront the reality of impermanence. Life is constantly changing, and the more we cling to the way things were or how we wish they would be, the more we suffer. By accepting that change is inevitable, we can begin to flow with life rather than fight against it. This doesn't mean we become passive or indifferent. Rather, we learn to adapt to the changing tides, using them to propel us forward instead of allowing them to drag us under. Principle 2. Do not pursue pleasure for its own sake. In our modern world, the pursuit of pleasure is often seen as the key to happiness. We're bombarded with messages telling us that more is better, more entertainment, more luxury, more indulgence. Yet Musashi warns against the empty pursuit of pleasure, reminding us that true fulfillment comes not from external gratification, but from within. This principle challenges us to find joy in simplicity and moderation. It's like savoring a single piece of chocolate rather than devouring the entire box. By appreciating the small pleasures in life without being consumed by them, we cultivate a deeper sense of satisfaction and contentment. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that the most lasting pleasures are those that arise naturally, without the need for excessive indulgence. In practice, this principle asks us to examine our motivations. Why do we seek pleasure? Is it to fill a void, to escape from discomfort, or simply because we believe it will make us happy? Musashi encourages us to find deeper sources of fulfillment, those that nourish our spirit rather than just our senses. When we shift our focus from seeking pleasure to cultivating inner peace and purpose, we find that our need for external gratification diminishes. We begin to appreciate the beauty in everyday moments, the satisfaction in meaningful work, and the joy in simple, authentic connections with others. Chapter 2. Mastering Desires. Principle 3. Never make decisions based on fleeting emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that can guide us or lead us astray. One moment we might feel elated, and the next we're overwhelmed by doubt or fear. Musashi's third principle warns us against making decisions when we are swayed by temporary emotions. It's like being caught in a storm. If we act impulsively, we may end up on a path that we later regret. Instead, Musashi teaches us to recognize our emotions, but not be ruled by them. He encourages us to make decisions based on careful thought, reflection, and an understanding of our deeper values and long-term goals. By doing so, we develop the ability to navigate life's challenges with clarity and wisdom, rather than being tossed about by the winds of fleeting feelings. This principle is particularly relevant in a world where we're constantly bombarded with stimuli that evoke strong emotional responses. Whether it's social media, news, or personal interactions, we're often pushed to react quickly without taking the time to reflect. Musashi's wisdom reminds us of the importance of pausing, taking a step back, and allowing our emotions to settle before making important decisions. By doing so, we ensure that our actions are aligned with our true intentions and not merely reactions to temporary feelings. Principle 4. Think of yourself lightly and of the world deeply. In a world that often prioritizes self-interest, Musashi's advice to think lightly of oneself might seem counterintuitive. However, this principle is not about diminishing our self-worth, but about shifting our focus outward. Musashi encourages us to look beyond our immediate concerns and consider the broader impact of our actions on the world around us. This principle invites us to cultivate humility and compassion. By thinking deeply about the world and our place within it, we develop a greater sense of responsibility and purpose. We begin to see that our lives are interconnected with those of others, and that our actions have far-reaching consequences. This perspective inspires us to live with greater integrity, striving to contribute positively to the world. Thinking of ourselves lightly doesn't mean we ignore our needs or desires, but rather that we place them within the larger context of the world. It means recognizing that our individual lives are part of a greater whole, and that our actions have the power to influence others in ways we may not even realize. By adopting this mindset, we become more mindful of how we interact with others, how we contribute to our communities, and how we leave a positive impact on the world. This principle teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from focusing solely on ourselves, but from understanding our role within the larger tapestry of life. Principle 5. Remain detached from desires throughout your life. Desires are a natural part of being human. We all have things we long for, whether it's material wealth, recognition, or personal fulfillment. But Musashi's teachings remind us that our desires, if left unchecked, can become a source of suffering. The fleeting pleasure we derive from fulfilling our desires often gives way to an endless cycle of wanting more. Detachment doesn't mean denying ourselves the joys of life, but rather not allowing our happiness to be contingent upon them. It's about enjoying life's pleasures without becoming attached to them. Musashi encourages us to find contentment within ourselves, to appreciate the present moment without being consumed by the pursuit of external desires. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner freedom that allows us to live more fully and authentically. To practice detachment, we must first understand the nature of our desires. Are they driven by a genuine need, or are they a response to societal pressures and expectations? Musashi invites us to examine our motivations and to question whether our desires truly serve our higher purpose. By cultivating detachment, we free ourselves from the constant pursuit of external validation and find peace in simply being. This inner peace becomes a stable foundation upon which we can build a life of meaning and fulfillment. Chapter 3. Cultivating Inner Strength. Principle 6. Never be jealous. Jealousy is like a weed in a garden. If left unchecked, it can overtake and ruin the beauty of everything around it. It's a feeling we've all experienced at some point, seeing someone else with something we want, whether it's a new car, a beautiful relationship, or even just attention from others. Musashi teaches us that jealousy detracts from our growth because it focuses our energy on what others have rather than on developing our own strengths and capabilities. Overcoming jealousy isn't about pretending we don't want things, but about shifting our perspective. It's about celebrating others' achievements and using their success as inspiration to pursue our own goals. When we free ourselves from the grip of jealousy, we open the door to personal growth, allowing us to focus on our journey and the steps we need to take to achieve our form of success. This principle encourages us to water our own garden, tending to our growth and blooming in our unique way. Jealousy is rooted in the belief that there is a limited amount of success, happiness, or love in the world, and that if someone else has more, there will be less for us. Musashi challenges this scarcity mindset by encouraging us to recognize the abundance that exists in the world. When we shift our focus from comparison to self-improvement, we realize that someone else's success doesn't diminish our potential. In fact, it can inspire us to reach new heights. By embracing this mindset, we cultivate a sense of inner strength and confidence that allows us to support others while also pursuing our own goals. Principle 7. Never allow yourself to be a slave to money. In a world where financial success is often equated with personal worth, Musashi's seventh principle serves as a powerful reminder to maintain perspective. Money, while necessary for survival and comfort, should not be the driving force behind our decisions or our sense of self-worth. When we allow money to dictate our actions, we risk losing sight of our values and priorities. Musashi teaches us to view money as a tool, a means to an end, rather than an end in itself. By keeping our relationship with money in balance, we can focus on what truly matters: our relationships, personal growth, and contributions to the world. This principle encourages us to cultivate a sense of purpose that is not dependent on financial gain, but is rooted in our values and aspirations. To live by this principle, we must first examine our attitudes toward money. Are we motivated by fear of scarcity, or are we driven by a desire to accumulate wealth for its own sake? Musashi invites us to reflect on how our financial decisions align with our values and to make choices that support our overall well-being rather than simply increasing our bank account. By doing so, we free ourselves from the pressures of materialism and create a life that is rich in meaning and fulfillment. Principle 8. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Loss and change are inevitable parts of life, whether it's moving away from friends, ending a relationship, or dealing with the loss of a loved one. Separations can be deeply painful. However, Musashi reminds us that the pain of separation is a part of life's cycle, not an end to our ability to find joy and connection. Dealing with loss and embracing change require us to find strength within ourselves and to remember that life is a series of connections and experiences, each shaping us and teaching us in different ways. Instead of being consumed by sadness, we can learn to cherish the memories and lessons each relationship brought into our lives. This principle doesn't diminish the pain of loss, but offers a perspective that helps us navigate it, reminding us that every ending makes room for new beginnings and opportunities for growth. Separation, whether from a person, place, or phase of life, can be a catalyst for personal transformation. Musashi's wisdom encourages us to embrace change as an integral part of the human experience. By accepting the inevitability of separation, we can approach it with a sense of curiosity and openness, allowing it to shape us in positive ways. This principle teaches us that while loss is painful, it also presents opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and new connections. By finding strength within ourselves, we can navigate the ebb and flow of life with resilience and grace. Principle 9. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself nor others. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a backpack filled with rocks on a hike. It only makes the journey more difficult. Musashi advises us to let go of resentment and to refrain from constant complaints, recognizing that these emotions and behaviors sap our energy and can poison our relationships and outlook on life. Resentment often arises from feeling wronged or slighted by others, but dwelling on these feelings keeps us stuck in the past, unable to move forward. Similarly, when we complain, we focus on the negative, overlooking the potential for change or the aspects of our lives that are positive. Learning to let go of resentment and to minimize complaints doesn't mean we ignore problems or injustices. Instead, it means we address them constructively, seeking solutions and focusing on actions that can improve our situation. This approach not only enhances our well-being, but also contributes to a more harmonious environment for everyone involved. Musashi's teaching on resentment and complaint is a call to cultivate a mindset of forgiveness and acceptance. By letting go of grudges and focusing on the present, we free ourselves from the burden of negativity and create space for positive change. This principle encourages us to take responsibility for our emotions and to choose actions that promote healing and growth. By doing so, we not only improve our own well-being, but also create a ripple effect that positively impacts those around us. Chapter 4. Fostering Harmony and Adaptability. Principle 10. Do not let yourself be led by lust or love. Love and desire are powerful forces that can enrich our lives, but they can also lead us astray if not approached with mindfulness and balance. Musashi advises us to be wary of these emotions, not because they are inherently bad, but because they can cloud our judgment and lead to decisions that we might later regret. This principle is about maintaining clarity and balance in our relationships and desires. It's not about denying love or passion, but about ensuring that our actions are guided by reason and a deep understanding of what is truly beneficial for us and those we care about. Musashi encourages us to cultivate relationships and desires that are rooted in mutual respect, understanding, and a shared sense of purpose. When we allow ourselves to be led solely by our emotions, we risk making choices that may feel right in the moment, but ultimately lead to pain or regret. Musashi's wisdom teaches us to approach our relationships and desires with a clear mind, ensuring that they align with our values and long-term goals. By doing so, we create connections that are not only passionate and fulfilling, but also stable and enduring. Principle 11. In all things, avoid having preferences. At first glance, this principle may seem odd. How can we live without preferences? However, Musashi's teaching is not about eliminating personal likes and dislikes, but about cultivating a sense of flexibility and openness. It's about not being overly attached to specific outcomes or ways of doing things. This principle invites us to embrace life's uncertainties and to find joy in the unexpected. By letting go of rigid preferences, we open ourselves to new experiences and perspectives. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that by being adaptable and open-minded, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and grace. Having preferences can create expectations, and when those expectations are not met, we often experience disappointment or frustration. Musashi encourages us to cultivate a mindset of acceptance, allowing us to flow with life's changes rather than resisting them. This principle teaches us to find beauty and value in all experiences, not just those that align with our preferences. By embracing this mindset, we become more resilient and adaptable, able to navigate life's challenges with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Principle 12. Be indifferent to where you live. This principle might seem odd at first. After all, our surroundings can have a big impact on our lives. But at its core, Musashi's message is about adaptability and finding contentment regardless of our circumstances. It's easy to think we'd be happier if only we lived somewhere else, had a better house, or were in a different situation. However, true contentment comes from within, not from our external conditions. Being adaptable and finding joy in various circumstances doesn't mean we shouldn't strive to improve our living conditions or seek out environments that inspire and uplift us. Rather, it means we don't let our happiness depend solely on those factors. We can find beauty and peace in the simplest settings if we're open to seeing it. This principle teaches us to build our inner sanctuary, cultivating a state of contentment that travels with us no matter where life takes us. Musashi's wisdom on being indifferent to where we live is a call to cultivate a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external conditions. When we focus on our internal state of mind, we realize that happiness and contentment are available to us regardless of our surroundings. This principle encourages us to find joy in the present moment, wherever we are, and to appreciate the beauty and opportunities that each situation offers. By doing so, we create a sense of stability and well-being that is not easily shaken by changes in our environment. Principle 13. Do not seek out the finest food. In a culture that often emphasizes indulgence and excess, Musashi's advice to avoid seeking out the finest food serves as a reminder of the value of simplicity. This principle is not about denying ourselves the pleasures of good food, but about appreciating the basics and finding contentment in simplicity. Musashi encourages us to cultivate a sense of gratitude for what we have, rather than constantly seeking more. By focusing on the essentials, we free ourselves from the endless pursuit of material satisfaction and discover a deeper, more lasting sense of contentment. This principle teaches us to find joy in the simple pleasures of life, whether it's a home-cooked meal, a quiet walk, or the beauty of nature. This principle invites us to reconsider our relationship with consumption, whether it's food, possessions, or experiences. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that true satisfaction comes not from indulging in the finest things, but from cultivating a sense of appreciation for what is available to us. By embracing simplicity, we free ourselves from the constant need for more and find peace in the present moment. This mindset allows us to live with greater clarity and purpose, focusing on what truly matters rather than being distracted by superficial desires. Chapter 5. Integrity, Self-Reliance, and Honor. Principle 14. Do not cling to possessions you no longer need. In a world where accumulating more is often equated with success, Musashi's advice to let go of unnecessary possessions offers a refreshing perspective. It's easy to become attached to material things, believing that they bring us security or happiness. However, Musashi teaches us that clinging to possessions can weigh us down, both physically and mentally. This principle invites us to practice minimalism, focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the rest. By freeing ourselves from the burden of excess, we create space for what is genuinely important: our relationships, personal growth, and experiences. Musashi's wisdom encourages us to live with intentionality, valuing quality over quantity, and focusing on what enriches our lives. The act of decluttering, both physically and mentally, allows us to focus on what truly matters. When we hold on to possessions that no longer serve us, we clutter our lives with unnecessary distractions and create a sense of attachment that can weigh us down. Musashi's teaching encourages us to examine our possessions and ask ourselves whether they contribute to our well-being and growth. By letting go of what no longer serves us, we create space for new opportunities, experiences, and relationships that align with our values and aspirations. Principle 15. Do not follow the beliefs of the masses without question. From a young age, we are often taught to follow societal norms and expectations without questioning them. However, Musashi challenges us to think critically about the beliefs and customs we've been taught to accept. This principle encourages us to question the status quo and to carve our path, guided by our values and understanding. Musashi's teaching is about authenticity and self-awareness. It's about not conforming blindly to societal expectations, but living in a way that reflects our true selves. This principle invites us to engage in self-reflection, to understand our beliefs and motivations, and to live in a way that is true to who we are. It's a call to live authentically, to make decisions based on our understanding rather than simply following the crowd. This principle challenges us to think critically about the beliefs and values we have inherited from society, our families, and our communities. Musashi's wisdom encourages us to question these beliefs and determine whether they align with our values and aspirations. By doing so, we take ownership of our lives and make choices that reflect our authentic selves. This principle is a call to live with intention and clarity, making decisions that are true to who we are, rather than simply following the path laid out by others. Principle 16. Do not collect weapons or practice with them beyond what is useful. In Musashi's time, weapons were essential tools for survival and honor. However, even in such a context, Musashi advises against the excessive accumulation of weapons or the overemphasis on their practice. This principle encourages us to focus on what is truly necessary and useful in our lives, rather than accumulating more for the sake of having more. This teaching is about discernment and practicality. It's a call to simplify, to focus on what truly serves our goals and well-being, and to let go of what is superfluous. In our modern lives, this principle can be applied to the skills, tools, and resources we choose to cultivate. Musashi's wisdom encourages us to be mindful about what we invest our time and energy in, ensuring that it aligns with our values and contributes to our growth. Musashi's teaching on avoiding the excessive accumulation of weapons can be seen as a metaphor for the way we approach our skills, possessions, and resources. It's a reminder that more is not always better, and that we should focus on cultivating what truly serves our goals and well-being. By being discerning in our choices, we create a life that is balanced, intentional, and free from unnecessary distractions. This principle encourages us to prioritize quality over quantity and to focus on what genuinely contributes to our growth and fulfillment. Principle 17. Do not fear death. The fear of death is a common human experience, but Musashi's teaching encourages us to confront this fear with courage and acceptance. Recognizing the impermanence of life can be a powerful motivator to live fully and authentically. When we accept that our time is limited, we are inspired to make the most of it, to focus on what truly matters, and to live with a sense of purpose. This principle is about embracing life's fleeting nature and finding peace in the knowledge that death is a natural part of the human experience. Musashi teaches us that by confronting our fear of death, we can live more fully, with a deeper appreciation for the present moment and a greater commitment to our values and goals. Musashi's wisdom on death encourages us to live with a sense of urgency and purpose. By acknowledging the impermanence of life, we are reminded to focus on what truly matters and to make the most of the time we have. This principle teaches us that death is not something to be feared, but accepted as a natural part of life. By embracing this perspective, we can live more fully, with a deeper appreciation for the present moment and a greater commitment to our values and goals. Principle 18. Do not seek to accumulate wealth or possessions for your old age. In a society that often equates success with material wealth, Musashi's 18th principle challenges us to rethink what it means to prepare for the future. While it is important to plan for our later years, Musashi warns against the excessive pursuit of wealth as a means of security. True security, he suggests, comes not from material accumulation, but from cultivating relationships, community, and a sense of purpose. This principle invites us to focus on what truly enriches our lives, our connections with others, our personal growth, and our contributions to the world. Musashi's teaching encourages us to build a legacy of experiences and wisdom rather than merely accumulating material possessions. It's a reminder that true wealth lies in the richness of our relationships and the impact we have on those around us. Musashi's teaching on wealth accumulation encourages us to shift our focus from material possessions to the things that truly matter in life. By cultivating meaningful relationships, engaging in personal growth, and contributing to the well-being of others, we create a legacy that extends far beyond material wealth. This principle challenges us to consider what we want to leave behind and to focus on building a life that is rich in experiences, wisdom, and connections. By doing so, we create a sense of fulfillment and security that transcends material possessions. Principle 19. Respect spiritual beliefs, but rely on your own efforts. Musashi's guidance on spirituality emphasizes the importance of self-reliance and personal effort. While it is valuable to respect and draw inspiration from spiritual beliefs, Musashi reminds us that the responsibility for our lives and our actions lies with us. This principle encourages us to take an active role in shaping our destiny, rather than relying solely on external forces. This teaching is about empowerment and self-determination. It's a call to take ownership of our lives, to make decisions based on our understanding and values, and to work diligently toward our goals. Musashi's wisdom encourages us to respect spiritual guidance, but to recognize that our actions are what ultimately shape our lives. Musashi's teaching on spirituality encourages us to find a balance between faith and self-reliance. While spiritual beliefs can provide guidance and support, it is ultimately up to us to take action and make decisions that align with our values and goals. This principle teaches us to take responsibility for our lives and to recognize the power we have to shape our destiny. By combining faith with personal effort, we create a life that is both grounded and purposeful, guided by our inner values and beliefs. Principle 20. Uphold your honor above all else, even at the cost of your life. For Musashi, honor was the highest value, transcending even the instinct for survival. In modern terms, this principle is about living with integrity, standing by our values and beliefs, and doing what is right, even when it is difficult. It's about being true to ourselves and our principles, regardless of the consequences. This principle challenges us to consider what we stand for and how deeply we are committed to those ideals. It's about living a life that is consistent with our values, making choices that reflect our deepest beliefs, and building a legacy of honor and integrity. Musashi's teaching invites us to live in a way that, at the end of our days, we can look back with pride, knowing that we remained true to ourselves and made a positive impact on the world. Musashi's teaching on honor encourages us to live with a sense of purpose and integrity. By upholding our values and principles, even in the face of adversity, we create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. This principle teaches us that true honor comes from living in alignment with our beliefs and making choices that reflect our highest ideals. By doing so, we build a legacy that extends beyond our lifetime, leaving a lasting impact on the world and those we leave behind. Chapter 6. The final principle, living with purpose and integrity. Principle 21. Never stray from the way. At the heart of Musashi's teachings lies this final principle, never stray from the way. This principle is a call to steadfastness and integrity, urging us to discover and adhere to a personal code of conduct that navigates us through life's challenges. It's about finding our path, our way, and remaining true to it, regardless of the obstacles we encounter. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that our way is our compass, a set of core beliefs and values that guide our decisions, actions, and interactions. Just as a compass offers direction to a sailor in the boundless sea, our personal philosophy or way provides us with direction amidst life's uncertainties. Finding our way requires introspection and self-awareness. It involves understanding who we are, what we believe in, and what we stand for. Musashi's teaching encourages us to ask ourselves the big questions. What is truly important to me? What kind of person do I want to be? How do I want to treat others? The answers to these questions become the stars by which we navigate our life's journey. Adhering to our way requires courage and integrity. It means making choices that are consistent with our values, even when it is difficult or when it means standing alone. It's easy to follow the crowd or be swayed by external pressures, but staying true to our way demands resilience and determination. It's about being honest with ourselves, acknowledging our mistakes, and learning from them. It's about striving to be better, not for accolades or recognition, but because it aligns with our personal philosophy. Living by this principle transforms how we see the world and interact with it. It shapes our relationships, our work, and our contributions to society. When we are guided by a clear sense of purpose and a strong moral compass, we become beacons of light for others. We inspire those around us to find their way, to live lives of purpose and meaning. In essence, this final principle encapsulates the journey towards self-mastery and personal excellence. It's a call to action, urging us to live not by the whims of circumstance, but by the strength of our convictions. It reminds us that while life's journey is fraught with challenges, having a way provides us with the clarity and strength to face them head-on, to grow from our experiences, and to carve out a path that is uniquely ours. As we reflect on the significance of having and adhering to a personal philosophy, we realize that it's not about rigidly sticking to a set of rules, but about being flexible and adaptable, learning and growing with each step we take. It's about living in a way that, at the end of our journey, we can look back with pride, knowing that we remained true to ourselves and the way we chose to follow. Miyamoto Musashi's Dokudo offers timeless wisdom for living a life of purpose, integrity, and self-mastery. Through his 21 principles, Musashi challenges us to examine our lives, our values, and our actions, encouraging us to live authentically and with intention. His teachings remind us that true fulfillment comes not from external achievements or possessions, but from the strength of our character, the depth of our relationships, and the impact we have on the world. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, Musashi's principles provide us with a guiding light, helping us to stay true to ourselves and our path. They encourage us to embrace reality, cultivate inner strength, foster harmony and adaptability, and uphold our honor and integrity above all else. By living in accordance with these principles, we create a life that is not only fulfilling, but also rich in meaning and connection. Musashi's wisdom teaches us that the journey to self-mastery is not about perfection, but about progress. It's about making choices that align with our values, learning from our experiences, and continuously striving to be better. As we reflect on these teachings, we are reminded that the way is not a destination, but a journey, one that we walk every day with courage, integrity, and purpose. Let Musashi inspire you to live with greater intention, to seek out your path, and to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Remember, the greatest victory is not over others, but over the discord within ourselves, achieved by never straying from our way. If you found inspiration in Musashi's teachings, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content on timeless wisdom and personal growth. Share this video with friends and loved ones who might benefit from these principles, and let's continue exploring the path to self-mastery together. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Dokudo. Remember, the way to true fulfillment and purpose lies not in following the crowd, but in staying true to your path. Stay committed, stay strong, and never stray from the way.